My fellow Chiefs fans, big decisions will be made today as it is trade deadline day. Welcome into this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. We will catch up to speed on the latest happenings with your Kansas City Chiefs after last night's win against the Bucs. Will they make a move before the trade deadline coming up this afternoon? We will tell you everything you need to know, talk about the latest trade targets and more coming up in just a matter of moments. Before we do, folks, want to make sure you subscribe for the latest Chiefs trade deadline coverage. If the Chiefs make a move between now and the deadline, we're going to bring you a video as quick as we can here on the channel. We are closing in on 61,000 subscribers. Had an incredible watch party last night, but we're not slowing down there. We need your help. Just 42 away from reaching our next milestone for the latest happenings in your Kansas City Chiefs with our daily news and rumors, our live shows, our watch parties on game days, breaking news, and more. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. Join the family. You'll be glad you did. Will the Chiefs make another move? The Chiefs have been very active leading into the trade deadline, most notably with the trade for DeAndre Hopkins, and then that was followed a few days later with a trade for Joshua Uche of the New England Patriots. And now we sit here and we wonder to ourselves, is there one more move in store? Does Brett Veach and Andy Reid have something up their sleeve to do something else before that deadline approaches to make this roster what they wanted heading into the second half of 2024? The Chiefs are in a position of strength right now. They don't have to do anything necessarily with the best record in football. And honestly, I think that this team still has their best football in front of them. The ongoing theme that has been discussed with this Kansas City Chiefs team throughout this year is that despite being 8-0, they haven't necessarily looked great in the process. And when I think about where the Chiefs are at, that, hey, DeAndre Hopkins is still getting acclimated. I think last night was a huge step in the right direction. When you also factor in that you're going to get Isaiah Pacheco back here pretty soon, Juju's going to be back here soon. Also, Hollywood Brown, of course, will be back for the playoffs and all. You are in a good spot right now. You don't have to do anything. You don't have a ton of money to work with either, so that makes things complicated. But what are the team needs for the Chiefs right now? Number one is obviously the cornerback position. With the injury to Jalen Watson, that leaves the Kansas City Chiefs shorthanded at a position that already had some big question marks entering 2024 after the departure of L'Jarius Sneed. Trent McDuffie obviously has done a tremendous job, but he can't do it all. And if you have another injury, then you're really setting yourself back a bit. You could make a trade for a corner at this trade deadline to give yourself some insurance to prepare for the worst in case there is another injury at the corner position. The wide receiver spot still remains a question mark, although the D-Hop trade was a big deal and was a huge win for the Kansas City Chiefs, and it showed last night that it's already paying off with what D-Hop was able to do. There is still some depth concerns at that position, as we haven't seen guys like Sky Moore step up. We haven't seen McCole Hardman do a whole lot. I'd like to see more from Watson, personally speaking. You're just getting inconsistent play from the other receivers. Could you find another receiver potentially to add to that mix to make you feel a little bit better? The safety spot for Kansas City, I like the Chiefs safeties, but one more safety could provide some more flexibility for this Chiefs team to be able to get more creative and do those three high safety looks. They're kind of lacking in that department, and one injury, and all of a sudden the Chiefs have some serious problems at that safety position. It's one of those things where it's good, but it could be better. Interior defensive line. We've seen the Chiefs' one issue for this team, as good as this defense has been so far this year, is that they have struggled to get after the quarterback. That has been an ongoing problem, and I think you add some help, potentially the interior defensive line. That's going to help your edge rushers out as well and make everybody better. Interior defensive line could help that problem. And then the obvious, the left tackle spot, which has been a nightmare for Kansas City here in 2024. Arguably the biggest weakness for this Chiefs team right now, as Kingsley struggled when he started the season. They replaced him with Wanya Morris. Wanya Morris has been up and down at this juncture. Is there anyone better out there that could do a better job than those two potentially? But it's also hard to trade for offensive linemen. That is the most difficult position group to go shopping for at the trade deadline, as there's just not a ton of teams usually willing to deal quality offensive linemen as far as that goes. Will the Chiefs make another trade before the deadline coming up this afternoon? You got two options on our pinned comment today. Type Y for yes, in for no. Weigh in, let us know what you think. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Game Time is the place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. Whether you're looking for tickets to sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more, Game Time's got you covered, including tickets to see your Kansas City Chiefs in action. Here's how it works. You choose the event you want to go to. Then you choose your seat. Check out their seat views. Get the 3D visual. See if you like that seat or not. And then you're checking out with Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. And we got a great deal we're offering our viewers here on the Chiefs Report. With your first purchase on Game Time, we will give you $20 off that first purchase with the promo code ChatSports at checkout. Terms apply. First purchase only for $20 off. Use the promo code ChatSports. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Game Time, proud partner of the Chiefs Report. I love it. The prices go down the closer it gets to kickoff. Check it out today. What time is it? Game Time. Game Time, proud partner of the Chiefs Report. So the Chiefs have limited cap space at the moment. Just $3.41 million was the latest update as of this morning from the folks at overthecap.com. So what that means is that there's basically two possibilities for a trade for the Kansas City Chiefs in this scenario with the money they have to work with. Number one is looking for players on cheap contracts, specifically rookie contracts that can work within that cap space. The other option, when it comes to that cap space situation, is hoping that teams take on that contract, take on part of that money. One player to watch for, there's two names specifically at the corner position, and one that I would keep an eye on is TreDavious White of the LA Rams at the corner position. He's a player that the Rams have been shopping. They haven't used a ton of, and this is somebody that could come in immediately and get significant playing time for this Kansas City Chiefs defense and be an impact player. I think that he could be a good fit for what this Chiefs team wants to do defensively. White, I think, although the numbers aren't there, he hasn't done a ton. This is somebody that we've seen time and time again where Spags takes on these projects, if you want to call them that, and turns nothing into something. They have a good track record of that. White could be a good, cheap fit, potentially be that option for Kansas City there. Outside chance on a trade for Marshon Lattimore, and it goes back to what we talked about with the money thing. When it comes down to it, dollars and cents-wise straight up, Chiefs can't afford to take on Marshon Lattimore's contract. But maybe they can get the Saints to take some of that money. The Saints are a team that's in total freefall at this point. Fired their head coach, Dennis Allen. Won their first two games of the season. They've lost every game since then. They're looking to get Marshon Lattimore out and get some trade capital. That could be a team that might be willing to take some of that money just to get him out of there if you give him better trade capital. And the Chiefs are in a position where they do have some trade assets that they could potentially be willing to give up that wouldn't hurt them as much as other teams because they are set up so well for their future as is. So Marshon Lattimore, I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm not saying it's impossible that the Chiefs potentially get a deal done for Marshon Lattimore. Those are the two names that I would keep an eye on. Obviously, there's others out there, but I think those are the two most likely potentially to end up in Kansas City when it's all said and done. Who's a player the Chiefs should trade for? We've mentioned a couple. Obviously, there's plenty of names out there ahead of the trade deadline coming up this afternoon. Who comes to mind? Who would you like to see in a Kansas City Chiefs uniform before the end of the day? Give me a name that comes to mind. Weigh in that comment section. Let us know what you think. Appreciate you joining us here on this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. If the Chiefs make a big move, a trade before the end of the day, we're going to bring you a video, react to it immediately within a matter of moments here on the Chiefs Report. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. Stay up to date. We got you covered. Should be a fun day ahead here on the channel. And obviously, we're going to be live again on Sunday for the Chiefs matchup with the Broncos. So if we don't see you later on this afternoon, we'll see you at some point during the week here on the channel. Subscribe now. We'll see you later.